Mama, I want more toy.
Hello everyone, my name is TFP Freckles, and today, on this new episode of New and Known News, we'll be discussing Hasbro's apparent focus on games for 2025. On this blog post, which I'll be leaving a link in the description below, it specifies how Hasbro is hoping to move away from how they've handled toy lines before. Like for Transformers toys specifically, they're hoping to have fewer toys and fewer waves per line. Like instead of 4 waves of figures, they're hoping to have 3 waves, which was what they did, I believe, in 2020, 2021 for Earthrise. I remember they had one less toy line. And if you notice Kingdom's line of figures, you'll see they had a couple of G1 toys, despite the fact that Kingdom was focused primarily on, Transformers Beast Wars. This isn't just limited to Transformers either. It also involves Power Rangers and Star Wars. Now, I'm not as well versed with Power Rangers and Star Wars as I am with Transformers. That's more so my bread and butter, and the other two are just sort of associated topics that I have from time to time. But apparently, Power Rangers will be licensed to Playmates for toy production, very similarly to how Disney uses Hasbro, funny enough, for Star Wars. This will help mitigate overstock risks and costs that Hasbro seems to be dealing with right now. And then they'll be doing a very similar thing with the Star Wars toys, where they will allow other companies to produce not all Star Wars toys, but certain Star Wars toys. The blog isn't very specific, but that's because it was posted yesterday and there probably isn't a whole lot about it. But what's interesting to me is their claim to be focusing on gaming for 2025, which is ironic considering what happened to Reactivate, which I know isn't Hasbro's fault. That was more so a Ponzi scheme apparently by the company that was supposed to make Reactivate, but just wanted Hasbro on their list of IPs they've developed, or so we've been told. And so the fact that they want to focus on games, it makes sense. Like, if anyone's been paying attention to the gaming industry as of late, they'll see just how much money is being pumped into that industry. With all the skins and the battle passes that are coming out and the different DLC updates, there is so much money being put into these online games because it is, unironically, an infinite revenue stream for as long as the game remains popular. Sadly though, with the reduction of toy lines and the toy waves, that means that there will be less toys in retail as well, which is already a problem that some people, I myself, have dealt with, where places like Target or Walmart just don't have recent figures. They have a bunch of old ones that they grab from the back of stock, or they aren't getting new ones. Like, the Walmarts within my area have nothing. They just don't have any. Like, they still have stuff from, like, Legacy Evolution, and they just aren't kept up to date. They still have Rise of the Beast stuff, some of them. Like, they just aren't being taken care of, which means there's a lack of interest because they're like, okay, these are the same, 10 items I saw last week, and the week before that, and the week before that. And this is so widespread that they're deciding to reduce retail. Just a huge mess. It really does suck, because finding these toys in the wild, so to speak, is like some people's favorite pastimes, because they don't want to order online for whatever reason, whether they think they can get it for a better deal later, or they just don't trust international shipping, or one reason or another, the option of finding it in stores, the opportunity and ability, is one that a lot of people would prefer. And to hear that finding these toys in physical locations might be more difficult and less of an occurrence, that's not a good thing. And it really does worry me, the fact that Hasbro is pivoting from toys to games and are basically offloading a bunch of their more popular brands to other companies to produce, which indicates that they are financially struggling. Again, in the same blog, they talk about how Transformers 1 had less toy lines than Rise of the Beast did, and obviously the movie didn't do as well as Rise of the Beast did either. And Rise of the Beast didn't even do that well. I think it did worse than Transformers Bumblebee. These movies just keep on going down in terms of how much money they're raking in, and the toys just aren't compensating like they used to. It's rather sad news. I'm hoping not all of this information is true, but I'm willing to believe it is. Seeing Hasbro prioritize these online endeavors versus these physical stores, I feel like would be a mistake. But I do understand where they're coming from. Places like GameStop or the Way of the Dinosaur, if you don't adapt online, you're just gonna die. And sadly, that means we might be seeing less Transformers out in the open. And it'll be more difficult for people to, you know, buy a quick gift for their niece or nephew, you know, getting stuff in stores right there, you know, conveniently. And we'll have to make an effort to go online. Like, this is strong-arming people to go onto Hasbro Pulse or to find it on Amazon or whatever other online retail. And I don't think that's a very good substitute, because a lot of those major toy decisions are made in person, just looking at it. Because images on a screen aren't always able to convince people. Hell, a lot of the CG renders of toys aren't very good at, like, showing people what's being sold to them, essentially. That's why people prefer in-person photos, you know, different poses and all these different 360 background shots of the figures. They want to know what they are being sold, and in-person stores did that. But it sounds like for 2025, and maybe even onward if this continues, we'll be seeing less figures in stores. And maybe we'll get re-releases of the Transformer games, like the War and Fall for Cybertron games. That would be awesome. Or Transformers Devastation. That would be cool. I would really like to see Transformers Devastation re-released. I think if they focus on re-releasing those games, maybe they'll get a bump and, you know, get a company that actually wants to make a game for them. That would definitely help out as well. But this has been New and Known News. I'm TFP Freckles, and I hope you have a great day.